If you want to continue to follow our adventure, click subscribe. So you don't miss anything, click the bell notification. Well, as I have said many times in the past, I've always wanted to go see the North Rim Grand Canyon in Arizona. And the nice thing about the North Rim is there are many campgrounds that you can really just back right up to the cliff of the Grand Canyon. And I've had my eye on one of them for 2-3 years now. Well, this year it looks like, keep my fingers crossed, that we're gonna get to go. If you get on the freecampsites.net and you just say Arizona, I mean, it just litters with free campsites. On freecampsites.net, you can put in filters. And so I always, hope that there's a small chance I put in a filter of electric and water. Now, in Nebraska, they have several that have free electric and free water. Now, they ask for small donations, but then the next search criteria is you filter in just drinking water. And I've really had a lot of success with this filter search. It's done me well. But here's the thing. If you're wanting to go to an area that doesn't have water, well, then you start to expand your search. You just go over to Google then, and you type in city parks, drinking water, or another search selection that you can type in is Walmart near wherever you're going to stay. Because what I've noticed is if there's a Walmart around, you've got resources. There's going to be truck stops, those kind of things, that you're going to be able to find water. Usually a town with a city park that has water. Now here, the nearest town that has water is about 40 miles away, and that's pretty typical. And even if you had to buy water from Walmart, water is relatively available. And the search criteria for all this is quite easy. Now here's what separates me from what I think a lot of nomads do. I just can't seem to move unless I know what the plan is. I've always been this way. I plan things out. That does not make me a bad person, and it doesn't make the person who doesn't plan a bad person. We're getting ready to start our summer adventure, and I bet I didn't spend an hour researching Texas. And I instantly realized Texas is just amazing. And so what I ended up doing was deciding, okay, instead of going ahead and going into Arizona to do my summer adventure, what I would do is I would quickly figure out what I'm going to do for my next winter adventure. And man, sure enough, I went into search criteria on freecampsites.net, typed, selected electric, selected water, and I bet there was a dozen campgrounds with anywhere from 2 to 7 day stay limits that have free camping with free electric and free water. I mean, it's just so easy. My winter is already planned out. I don't have to worry about anything. And I didn't have to put a lot of detail into it. Every campground I looked at, there was a town within 40 or 50 miles away, relatively close. I want to stay in Arizona for about 6 weeks. I mean, I'm not looking for a long-term stay. And it has taken me, I guess, 2 days now to even come up with some sort of plan. Now, I found one campground that had water. It's 120 miles away from North Rim Grand Canyon. Well, that's great. But once you get to looking around and trying to figure out, okay, here's my step, this is my next step, the research becomes mind-boggling. And I now understand why so many people who tell me to come out west also tell me that I worry too much about water. Because you just can't find it. It's just impossible to research water. So when you get to the North Rim, just down the road from North Rim is a county store. And there's no information as to whether this county store, even if you wanted to buy water, how much it costs or anything. They tell me that they have these little water dispenser machines all through the Arizona area. but you can't find any information where these machines are actually located. So water could be as close as 10 miles away from my campground, which would be fantastic, but I don't know that for sure. So imagine I drive 120 miles to get to my campground thinking, okay, there's going to be water at this country store, and there's not. Well, that means I got to turn around after this long drive. 47 miles, there is a town called Jacob Lake. It's not a town. It's actually part of the forest, I think. But it's got a visitor center, it's got a gas station, and it's got an RV park managed by the National Forest. So if worst comes to worst, we can go to the RV park and spend $20 to park there and get water. So that means we just paid 20 bucks for 40 gallons of water. You know, that's 50 cents a gallon. That's pretty expensive. Considering that you can buy in these machines that they keep talking about at Walmart for 20 cents. Now, the closest Walmart from our campground is a town called Page, Arizona. And again, I think that's 120 miles. So just to go get food and water, even if we're going to buy water, which, you know, I'm pretty much convinced that when we go to Arizona, we're going to have to buy water. There's just no free water out there like there is in Texas and most everywhere else in the United States. But the drive to get there, 120 miles, that's 240 mile round trip. I mean, we're talking 6-hour drive. The feasibility of actually doing long-term camping through the summer in Arizona just doesn't seem very reasonable. You know, we still have a budget, and you know, we're going to increase our expenditures quite a bit with water, the gas it's going to take to go from one location to another location, the gas is going to take to get to the grocery store. Now, I've done a little bit of research, and it looks like that food cost is going to be a little higher also. So I just want you to be aware that when people are telling you to come out to Arizona, there's a lot of great camping. That is true. There's a lot of beautiful, great camping. But getting close to resources is very difficult. Thanks for watching. Click like if you like the video, and happy travels.